Let me start off by thanking Sophia. She gave a very gracious introduction. And she and I have known each other for several years now. And she is a good friend, an outstanding attorney. And as you can see, she loves, this is her passion, putting on programs like this. So Sophia, thank you so very much for inviting me. Judge Baker, thank you so very much. This is my, yes, give it up to them. Ping, thank you. Ping is right here on the campus of Rice University, and she and I and a number of others will be traveling to China on December the 2nd on a trade mission for the city of Houston. So let me thank you and this university. And then you got me here today with Lance from the Houston Astros. Lance, let me tell you, we are so Houston proud of the Houston Astros. Literally, the Houston Astros carried the city of Houston on their backs. I'll never forget, just shortly after the hurricane, the Astros asked whether or not they should play in the city of Houston on that, it was that Friday, Saturday against the New York Mets. And I said, look, please play. And then they came back to Houston, played on that Saturday, have a double hitter, and they won both of those double hitters. And I just had a feeling right then that something extraordinary was going to happen with the Astros that year. They played that double hitter, they went on. I can't thank you all enough for winning against Boston. And then they went on to play the Yankees, and they won against the Yankees in a thrilling 7-game series there. And look, I wasn't able to be at the 7th game. I was in College Station at the time on a relief effort for Hurricane Harvey, but I heard the crowd all the way in College Station. So y'all got past the Yankees. And then they started off in LA for the World Series, and they end up winning in the World Series champions. And look, a major plus for the city of Houston. I will always remember Friday. How many were able to go for the parade on Friday? Oh, okay. A lot of y'all missed school, all right. But that Friday, more people at a parade in the city of Houston than in the city's history. And it will always be a highlight for me. I want to thank you and thank the Astros for just being a tremendous booster at a time when the city needed it the best. And so thank you most. So thank you so very much. Appreciate you. And then look, and did this. And for you to be here today, after all that y'all have gone through, speaks volumes. There's no question that this guy loves all of you. Because let me tell you, I know that you hadn't had a vacation yet, so thank you. And then for Sophia to put me behind Baby J. Now I need to go jumping right down on that floor and trying to make my turns. But I know why Baby J got the keys to the city. Well-deserved, well-earned, the recognition from the county with the Grammys. Tremendous talent. And who knows what his future will hold. But Baby J, man, you're on it, Doc. I was trying to watch the moves myself. There was a time I would have tried to do that. But hell, if I got down now, I may sprain something. So I would stay where I am. But Baby J, awesome, man, awesome. Let me just take this few minutes. I appreciate the invite. I know my daughter was here earlier this morning and spoke, Ashley Page Turner, that's my heart. So I know she was here earlier. And Sophia has pretty much told you my story. And I'll just briefly highlight something. I would tell you after the parade on Friday, I went back to my high school. They invited me to the high school football game, Klein, on the other side in 1960. Because when I came through, they bus the kids from Acres Home to Klein, 18 miles one way, 36 miles a day. as a part of the integration era. And so they invited me back to Klein High School to be honored on Friday night, and it was thrilling. I enjoyed being back there. But I come out of Acres Home. On the north side, we say the fofo. But from Acres Home, I still live in Acres Home, the same area, community which I was born and reared. I still stay there. And come out of a large family, just like Sophia indicated. My dad died of cancer when I was 13. My mom was a maid at the Old Rice Hotel for many, many years. Didn't come out of a wealthy family. We didn't have any private health insurance. When you end up getting sick, you went to the public health, emergency room, like many people are still doing today. But that's how I came through. So when my dad was diagnosed with cancer, since we didn't have any private health insurance, my dad made the decision that he was just going to keep working and working as long as he could, and then, when the end would come, the end was going to come. But he had 9 kids to feed, so my dad just kept working. And I literally would see my dad, because I was out there cutting grass with my dad, you would see my dad fall down, and I thought my dad just slipped. I just thought, Dad just keeps slipping. And I did not know that he was suffering from leukemia, cancer, and it was eating him up. So every now and then he'll fall down, pull himself back up. At the house, my dad would slip down, and then we would go to assist him. And my mom would literally say, leave your dad alone, he'll be okay. And so at the house, my dad would fall down, he'll grab a piece of furniture, and he'll pull himself back up. He did that over and over and over again. And in life, I learned from my dad that when things knock you down, you have to learn how to pull yourself right back up. And that's what my dad taught me, even at an early age, because he got knocked down, cancer was eating him up, but he never stayed down. He pulled himself back up, and he very seldom complained. Well, after my dad died of cancer when I was 13, my mom, this maid, became the CEO of the Turner household. Neither one of my parents graduated from high school, and my mom never learned how to drive. And so what would happen is that my mom would get us ready to go to school on the bus, and then she would catch the very next bus to go downtown and clean somebody else's hotel room. And then in the evening, she would come back home, get us ready, and we moved from there. There were times in the Turner household when we didn't have that much to eat, and we would complain, and my mom would say, okay, I'm doing the best I can, so just go and, you all are too young to even know what a surf sandwich is, but let me tell you what a surf sandwich is. A surf sandwich, you go and get some light bread, you put some syrup on it, and you eat that surf sandwich. Then my mom would say, now go get a glass of water and drink that glass of water right after you eat that surf sandwich. You know what a surf sandwich would do when you put some water on it? It just expands inside your stomach. And then my mom would say, now go to bed, it will be all right. Tomorrow will be better than today. That's the tagline that my mom would always say when we asked for something, she couldn't do it, couldn't make it happen, and my mom would say, tomorrow will be better than today. I say that because there's a book that I'm writing right now that I'm hoping getting close to be finished, in which I tag it, tomorrow will be better, okay? And so that's what my mom would say, tomorrow, son, tomorrow will be better. I never forget, I was Mr. Klein High School and stuff, and I was dating the head cheerleader, and I thought I was all of that. And I was all that. But so I asked the head cheerleader, will you come and go with me to the prom? I'm president of student body. I'm Mr. Klein High School. She was head of the cheerleading squad. So she said, of course. And so we were going. So I went home, I told my mom, Kathy agreed to go to the prom with me, and I need transportation. So my mom said, you see a car in the driveway? So I said, no. She said, well, where you think we're gonna get a car from? I said, well, we can go rent one. She said, you got a credit card? because I don't have a credit card. I said, no, but I know you can go get one. I said, look, I've already asked Kathy to the prom, Mom. I already asked her. She said yes. So my mom said, well, you should have asked me before you asked her, because unless y'all gonna get on the bus, I said, I can't be taking no prom or no bus. And so I end up asking my best friend, because he had a car, so we double dated at that time. But my mom had this rule that my daddy enforced before he died, and that is all the kids had to be at the house by midnight. That was the rule. And so I told Lennis, you know, look, I'm double dating with you, but we have to be home by midnight, and that didn't go over too well either. So I had to work through that. But went through all of that, my mom took good care of all of us, but she will always say, even in that experience, Sylvester, I can't do it, but tomorrow will be better than today. And so finish up at Klein. I go to University of Houston. I'm on the debate team. I debated all through high school on the debate team. We were hosting this national debate tournament, and students were coming from all over the country. And the debate coach comes up to me. He talks and moves real quickly. He comes up to me and he throws his keys at me. And he said, Turner, I need you to go to the airport and pick this team up from University of Chicago at the airport and bring them back to University of Houston. He threw the keys, and around the man didn't ask me if I knew how to drive. I had gotten around to University of Houston on the bus. I didn't have, there was no car, but he threw the keys at me. And he said, that's my car, and he walked away. I looked at the keys, I looked at the car. I said, oh, what the heck? True story. I mean, they would tell you true story. So I get in the car, and I zigzag all the way to the airport. Nothing but the grace of God, okay? I get to the airport, pick up these guys from University of Chicago. 3 get in the back, 1 gets up in the seat with me, and I take off again. And I'm just doing like this. And they just talking, they were just talking. Then the guy in the front, everybody got quiet. The guy in the front said, say, dude, how long you been driving? I said, I just started. I can't tell you what they said, but they said, no. They said, you just got started. I said, I just started. So he said, dude, you won't want us to drive? I said, no, I got this. I got this. And every time I would zig on I-45, I was just going like this. They kept saying, oh, God. And I just zigged. I said, it's all right. They getting out the way. It's all right. True story. I get back to University of Houston. Nobody gets out the car. I said, we are here. So the guy said, are you sure? I said, we here. So the guy said to me, dude, don't pick nobody else up from the airport. But I never learned how to drive. I started that day. No fear. You just do it. I wouldn't recommend you do it. But I got there. The point that I want to emphasize is that coming out of Acres Home, coming out of a family of 9, where neither one of my parents graduated from high school, this person who was a maid at the Rice Hotel, and when it got time for me to go to the law school, I needed a person to sign the loan papers to enable me to go to Harvard Law School in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And the only person I knew that had good credit, who worked every day, believed in paying her bills, the only person I knew in my whole family was that maid, my mom. And I asked my mom, I said, will you sign these papers in order for me to go to Harvard? And my mom said, Sylvester, what am I signing? I said, it's just some papers that say I can go. She said, well, why are you asking me to sign? I'm not going, you going. I said, well, it's just some loan papers, saying that, I'd have to pay this amount back. So she said, well, how much is it? And I told my mom how much they were. And my mom was a church-going, religious, Christian woman. My mom said some words I didn't think she knew. I mean, I said, where did you get those words from? And she said, Sylvester, I've got 8 other kids that I got to take care of. I cannot afford to sign something that would cause me to lose my house. So she said, you need to find a school that's closer and cheaper. I said, okay. So the next day I came back. I said, Mom, I'm asking you to sign the papers. She said, Sylvester, I told you, find a school that's closer and cheaper. And then I said to her, but you said that I can always be whatever the good Lord wanted me to be. I just need you to help me along the way. She said, Sylvester, not gonna do it. The following week, I was going on about my business, and I noticed on my bed at the house these papers that were sitting on the bed. And I looked at the papers, and my mom signed the papers. And I went to her, and I said, what changed your mind? And she said, son, I decided I'm going to believe in you. And so even though I got 8 other kids, I'm just going to believe that if I sign these papers, that you will move on to the next step and that you will make good on what I am doing. And so 3 years later, when it came time for me to graduate from Harvard Law School, you can imagine the one person that I wanted at that graduation. And that one person happened to be that maid, that woman who believed in her kid, who signed the loan papers that enabled me to get to Harvard Law School. And even though she's not here today, the Lord has called her home. Even though she's not here, can you imagine what my mom was probably thinking? From Acres Home, where neither parent graduated from high school, where I didn't learn how to drive until I got to University of Houston. And now today, I'm at Rice University in front of you as the mayor of the 4th largest city in the United States of America. The reality is, it doesn't matter where you come from, and it doesn't matter how much money you have. What is important is what drive that you put in your efforts. It's what you believe. It's what you're made of. And I've learned in life is not fair. In school, 2 + 2 = 4. But in life, may not equal 4. Life is not fair. All things are not necessarily equal. But it doesn't mean that you cannot fulfill your destiny. And the only person that can stop you from fulfilling your destiny happens to be yourself. And now we live in this city, in the most diverse city in the country. 1 of 4 Houstonians is foreign born. People come from all over the globe. 142 different languages are spoken right here in our city. You have people who are highly affluent, and you have people who are barely making it. You have lawyers and you have janitors. You have people working downtown in some of those lofty buildings. And you have people who are working at fast food restaurants. But in this city, unless you give up on yourself, you can be almost anything you desire to be. But you got to work at it, and you have to believe. And you cannot allow anybody or yourself to keep you from getting there. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to get it the first time. I've run for mayor 3 times. I ran the first time, I didn't get it. I ran the second time, and I didn't get it. And I almost decided not to run the 3rd time. But you know who convinced me to run the 3rd time? It was the woman, the young lady that you heard from this morning, my daughter, that convinced me to run the 3rd time. Because what she said to me, Dad, if you do not run, are you going to regret it down the road? And I thought about that. And I decided, even though I didn't win the 1st or the 2nd time, I was going to run the 3rd time. And as a result, I'm here where you are today. So let me just say to you, keep going. Keep at it. Don't stop. We all can't do the same thing. But I'm a firm believer God has given all of us something to do something with. Okay? You may not be Deborah Mouton. You may not be the poet. You may not be Baby J. You may not be Lance, the astro. You may not be Sophia, the lawyer. But there is something that you all can do. And I'll close with this: when a job is once begun, do not stop until it's done. For be it great or be it small, just do it well or not at all. I'm proud to be the mayor of your city. I am proud to be where I'm from. I'm proud to be from Acres Home. I'm proud of that maid. And I don't know who your parents are, but I'm proud of where I come from. I didn't have to come from a whole lot. But I also recognize nobody can take away from me what's destined for me. I just got to stay in my lane and run my race. Some of you are sprinters, which means you're going to get to your destination real fast. Things going to come to you real quick. The things you want, you're going to get. Some of you are sprinters, but some of you are long distance runners, which means you're going to go after something and you're not going to get it. It's going to take you longer to get there. You may have to run 1 lap, 2 laps, and 3 laps. For those who are long distance runners, don't look at somebody else who's getting stuff real quick in a hurry and then start questioning yourself. God makes sprinters. God makes long distance runners. I'm a long distance runner. And I have to just run 1 lap, 2 laps, and 3. So stay at it. And I'm looking at a mayor in this room, or a governor, or a lawyer, or a doctor, or an engineer. But whatever it is, stay at it until you have reached your purpose and enjoy the moment. Thanks for having me, and appreciate all of you.